You're welcome back. It's time for JNI, Joy News Interactive, and the lovely, resplendent, beautiful, I could go on and on and on, Aisha Ibrahim is here joining me. Aisha, you look beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
You look colorful.
And you too. You know you're the goddess of TV goddess. You know that.
Oh my goodness, I have to steal this dress.
Oh, okay. Don't worry. Just after the show, I'm handing it over. But Arba, I've been hearing rumors. I don't know if you've also heard that that Sarkodie will be performing at Shatawale's album launch. Is it true? I need somebody to tell me.
Well, I haven't heard it, but if he does, then were we all fooled? Was this some sort of publicity stunt?
The question I've been asking. All right, so let's wait and see. If it happens, we also have a single to release. You know how to join the conversations on facebook.com/joynews-on-TV. On Twitter, it's at Joy News on TV. And we're starting with a 4-year-old girl who was massively lashed by her teacher, who was left with severe bruises on her body. That teacher has since been suspended, but the question is, I mean, how does this situation come across to you? What do you think? Because you remember the father of the girl confronted the teacher and he told him he can report him wherever he wants to. So, I mean, what do you make of the situation?
Ideally, some years ago, we all know that you're not supposed to, cane or lash any student, especially those who fall below the primary school. Again, there's so many the punishment around. You can even ask the pupil or the person involved to even sweep the whole compound. It's even allowed. But then to lash the person, personally, I think that the stakeholders or the institution responsible for education, especially the Ministry of Education, so the GS should form a sort of committee to investigate into this matter.
So once you've given the child a homework, you should expect that when he or she gets home, either the parent, a brother or a sister, any relation that is at least a little higher than that particular child, so you to assist the child understand that concept better. Because in classrooms we have larger numbers. To say that a brother or a relative assisting is bad, I don't think the teacher acted properly. I think he has acted beyond a reasonable man can think.
It could be transfer of anger from home. It could be psychological problem. Moreover, the teacher could be insane. So all these measures must be considered. I don't think Ghana law allows that. Or in every institution, they have their code of ethics. The teacher has been suspended. We don't know if that is part of their code of ethics that they have used to suspend him. And I think suspension is one of the most and the bigger kind of punishments to be given to him for that act.
Even if you definitely discipline maybe your pupil for not probably maybe doing an homework, you shouldn't go to the extent of beating the person, you know, that there will be bruises and the blood oozing out and all that. It doesn't make sense. And I don't think that it is part of what they were taught during the time the said teacher found himself maybe in school.
All right, so those were some comments from the streets. Arba, if it was my child, believe me, maybe the outcome may be unpleasant, but let's check out what you've been putting on Facebook.
Right. So Ibrahim Suleiman Logic says, I think he hasn't been to teacher training before. It might be some of the youth, and it might be one of the youth employment teachers. What kind of wickedness is that? May God forgive him. Grace Bolma writes, this is very true everywhere, and it's because the parents reported the issue. That is why it is trending. But it's happening in most schools nationwide. This is what I call transfer of aggression. When the teachers sometimes are not comfortable with their salaries, or even when they are angered from elsewhere, they come to school and impose their anger on the students, which shouldn't be so. In fact, if the necessary authorities are quiet on this act, then parents should rise and fight it out of our schools. Anaman Resplay writes, In this modern era, wow, darkness has really taken over that teacher. Is it a crime for children to be helped with their homeworks? This must be discouraged in the various schools. Even prisoners are not treated this way. This teacher must be taken on to serve as a deterrent for others. And Walanyo Akwetia says she does not deserve to be a teacher. Well, it's a guy, so he does not deserve to be a teacher. The teacher is even fortunate that the parents of the school child are not rascals. Otherwise, else she will regret being a teacher. He will regret being a teacher. But my question is the school a private school or a government school? I believe it's a private school, right?
And so, yes, it is. And the headmaster has since apologized, and the teacher has been suspended.
Right.
But that is still not enough. There must be some serious sanctions for these teachers to deter other teachers. But Sir Obama Pokwasi says some teachers are just disgracing the noble profession. If some students in the universities get their assignments done for them, how much more a kindergarten pupil? And Nasser Hassan Yaimi said that's very wicked of him. I thought some time ago they were asked to stop that, but it's still happening in schools. He should be suspended and his salary seized for 2 months. And Bayo Jeremiah says he should be arrested, charged and prosecuted. He doesn't deserve the title a teacher. He's a disgrace to the teaching profession. Haruna Ilyasu Tamale says, I thought corporal punishment was abolished. Some acts are unacceptable. Teachers must make teaching interesting to students rather than a pain. And Pantia Phillips says it's inhuman to treat a 4-year-old child this way. It doesn't matter whether you are a teacher or a parent. Children at this age are very fragile and delicate. Trekpa Christian says this is sad. This has been happening for long. And just last year, a certain teacher slapped a student and he died. The Ron says it's bad. You have publicized it a lot just because culprit is an ordinary teacher. Post about the rampaging Delta Force who are solidly backed by politicians. Of course, you're talking about these guys, and even what they do hasn't got anything to do with children. And I think we've also reported about the Delta Force. This is a 4-year-old child we're talking about, Deron. And Helen Akahaibo says, I remember the Midland Savings and Loans policeman, Scala. Isaac Survival says, beating 4-year child is an evidence that he has been beating his wife or girlfriend. That is if he even has a wife or a girlfriend. Talk of a child. And David Donto says, do not be left out. Make some, okay, so he's trying to make some advertisements. I don't know what he's talking about. Now, let's get on to Relationship Friday. And when you're in love, I mean, you love spending time with your partner, particularly at the beginning. It can be so easy to feel like your new relationship. And most importantly, your partner take priority over all other things in your life. As a result, you're likely to fall out of your normal alone time routines and will want to recreate that time for yourself at a point. So how do you tell your partner you want to be alone without getting him or her offended? Facebook and check out some of the comments on Facebook.
So Isaac Jabin says, for dating, it's possible to say it because people live separately and can tell others not to visit because they want to be alone. But when you're married, you have to give 35 reasons why you want to be alone before permission will be granted. Why do you want to be alone cannot be answered. Okay, Walanyo Akwetia says, it's very easy to do that. Just tell her that you need time to be alone to pray so that God can intervene in your relationship. So far as you mentioned prayer, everything is cool. Women understand prayer. Okay.
Really? So that's your plan.
Anaman says, so simple. I tell you, I'll be in my menses for some time or for some number of days. Or still tell her, I'll be listening to Sarkodie's my advice and she has to understand. So simple, really. And Pantia Phillips says, is it possible at all? It will be so difficult. I shall be big woman. I agree with that 100%. So Obama Pokwasi says, it's easy as ABC. Babe, I'm fasting and I need not live with a woman in the same room. So go to your mom's place. You need to.
Really? And that's where Hassan Yaima says, oh gosh, after all, what is it? Well, just tell her straight there. There's no big deal or any offense about that. Really? Well, you may be lucky to have such a woman. Take that time, someone says, abide at the foot of the mountain. I need to go, yonder to worship. James Abusanga says, Wanting to be alone is sometimes as a result of a problem your partner is facing, which demands that he or she be left alone to ponder over some issues. It is giving each other space in a relationship. Nika Nani says, after giving him or her a hot sex, really, just say it with a soft lip. Nika, is that what you're saying? All right. Okay, so those were very interesting comments.